Stop writing. Seriously, close the journal, put the pen down, because what I'm about to tell you in the next 60 seconds is going to make everything you have been doing every morning make complete sense and complete nonsense at the same time. Your gratitude journal is not failing because you were doing it wrong. It is failing because it was never designed to reach the part of you that actually needs to change. Neuroscience has known this for years. The part of your brain that reads your gratitude list, the thinking, reasoning, language processing prefrontal cortex, has almost zero direct access to the circuits that control how you actually feel moment to moment. That is a different system entirely, a deeper one that lives below conscious thought, below language, below every positive affirmation and written reflection you have ever committed to a page. And until your practice reaches that system, it will never reach you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact 4-minute protocol that does. No journaling, no writing, no performance of positivity you do not actually feel inside. Just your breath, your body, and a biological mechanism your nervous system has been waiting for you to find. I am Dr. Silas Kincaid, and the reason this conversation matters to me, the reason I keep coming back to the intersection of neuroscience and lived human experience, is because I have watched extraordinarily committed people work incredibly hard on their inner lives and still feel stuck, still feel flat, still close the journal and walk into their day carrying the exact same weight they woke up with. That is not a motivation problem. That is a method problem. And today, we are fixing the method. Because here at MindTake, we believe in something very specific about the relationship between effort and growth. We take the breath so we can grow the life. Not the idea of the breath, not a concept written on a page, the actual physical, biological act of conscious breathing as the gateway to everything that genuinely changes. We are going to live that principle today in a very practical, very specific, very science-backed way. Let's go. The trap of intellectual gratitude. Let me describe your morning to you. The alarm goes off, you silence it. You reach for the journal, or maybe the app, because you have read enough to know that gratitude practices change lives, and you are committed to doing the work. And you write, I am grateful for my family. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for this morning. You close the journal, you sit for a moment, you wait for the feeling everyone told you would come. And mostly, it does not. Maybe a faint flicker, maybe a moment of mild warmth that dissolves before you even finish your first cup of coffee. And by the time you're 20 minutes into your day, you feel exactly the same as you did before you opened that journal. So you double down, you write more, you get more specific, you switch journals, you try guided prompts, gratitude letters, lists of 100 things, and none of it produces the transformation you were promised. Here's why. Your brain has a built-in feature called habituation. It's the same mechanism that makes you stop hearing the hum of your refrigerator after a few seconds entering the kitchen. When a stimulus becomes predictable, when the brain categorizes something as already known, it stops allocating deep processing resources to it. The stimulus gets filed, moved to the background, because from a pure survival standpoint, what is familiar requires no urgent attention. So when you write, I am grateful for my family for the 53rd morning in a row, here's what happens neurologically. Your prefrontal cortex registers the familiar phrase, confirms it's already cataloged, and moves on. Your amygdala, the emotional processing center, barely activates. No dopamine surge, no serotonin release, no measurable reduction in cortisol, no biological shift of any kind. You have, completely unintentionally, trained your nervous system to ignore your own practice. And beneath that mechanical limitation is a deeper design flaw.
Traditional gratitude journaling is entirely cognitive. It speaks exclusively to the thinking mind. It asks you to name and recognize things, which is a language-based cortex-level activity. But genuine emotional experience doesn't live in language. It doesn't live in recognition. It lives in the body. Joy is not a thought. It's a physical event, a relaxation across the chest, a warmth behind the sternum, a subtle buoyancy in the breath. Genuine gratitude, the kind that actually shifts your nervous system, your mood, your baseline, is a full-body felt experience. It has a location, it has a temperature, it has a texture. And you can't write your way into a body-level experience. That's not a flaw in you. That's a flaw in the tool. The science of somatic resonance. So, if gratitude is a body-level event, the real question becomes, what is the biological mechanism that produces the physical felt experience of genuine appreciation? The answer runs through a structure most people have never heard of, the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the human body. It originates at the base of your brainstem and descends through your throat, your heart, your lungs, your gut. It's the primary biological highway of your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest, repair, digestion, social connection, and the physiological state your brain and body register as safe. When you are in chronic stress, and in the modern world, most people are running at a baseline activation that would have been considered a crisis state a generation ago. Your sympathetic nervous system dominates. Cortisol floods the bloodstream. Heart rate elevates and becomes erratic. Digestion slows. Immune function gets suppressed. Your social engagement circuits, the same circuits responsible for warmth, connection, and belonging, go offline. In this state, even the most sincere gratitude list does nothing. Your body is in danger mode. It's scanning the environment for danger, not counting blessings. But when you activate the vagus nerve deliberately, something measurable happens. Cortisol begins to drop. Heart rate decelerates into what researchers call cardiac coherence, a smooth, rhythmic pattern associated with emotional stability and clear cognitive function. The chest physically opens, and the social engagement circuits come back online, producing genuine feelings of warmth and connection, not manufactured, not performed, but biologically generated. Your body shifts from danger mode into what neuroscientist Dr. Stephen Porges calls a state of social safety. And in a state of social safety, gratitude doesn't require effort. It becomes the natural expression of a nervous system that's no longer bracing for impact. Now here's the critical distinction. Traditional journaling produces a small temporary dopamine response from completing a task. It does nothing to shift your cortisol baseline. It does not activate the vagus nerve.
It does not move your body from sympathetic to parasympathetic. Somatic gratitude works at the level of the nervous system itself. It uses breath, physical sensation, and sensory memory to create a full physiological state change, a real measurable shift in the chemistry running through your body that can persist for hours, not minutes. The difference is not subtle. It is the difference between reading the word ocean and standing in the water with the current moving around your feet. And it takes 4 minutes to get there. The 4-minute somatic protocol. Here's the protocol, step by step. You can follow along right now. You need 4 minutes, nothing else. Step 1, memory anchor, 60 seconds. Instead of asking yourself what you are grateful for, I want you to ask a completely different question. Where in my life have I felt genuinely safe and completely loved? Not a grand moment, not a milestone, something quiet. An afternoon with someone who made you feel entirely seen. A meal that tasted like home. A single conversation that dissolved a weight you had been carrying for weeks. Let the memory arrive without forcing it. And the moment it surfaces, do not think about it. Instead, locate it in your body. Where do you feel this memory right now? Is there a warmth spreading through your chest? A softness that opens somewhere behind your eyes? A slight release across your shoulders? Find the physical sensation, not the thought about the memory, the raw, felt sense of it, wherever it lives in your body. Place one hand gently on that location. That is your somatic anchor. You have given your nervous system something real and physical to work with, not a word, not a concept, but a live sensation registered in living tissue. Step 2, breath into the sensation, 90 seconds. With your hand still resting on that spot, begin breathing directly into it. Imagine your breath as something warm and tangible, moving from your lungs toward the place your hand is resting, filling it slowly, the way warm water fills a glass from the bottom upward. With each inhale, allow the sensation to grow slightly outward. With each exhale, let it settle more deeply inward. If you feel warmth, let it spread. If you feel tingling, let it radiate. If you feel softness, let it deepen. Do not evaluate what you are experiencing. Just allow it to grow at its own pace. You are not visualizing here. You are using breath-directed attention to physically amplify a state your nervous system already recognizes as safe. Oxygenated blood flow is increasing to that region. Parasympathetic signals are moving through the vagal pathway in real time. This is not metaphor. This is physiology. Step 3, the hold and soak, 60 seconds. Once the sensation feels full and present, stop. Stop breathing deliberately. Stop trying. Stop doing anything at all. Just hold the sensation in your awareness, the way you would hold something fragile and irreplaceable in open hands. Sit with it completely. Let your entire nervous system register one clear signal. This is real. This is present. This is mine. What happens in this pause is not passive. Your neurons are firing in a precise pattern that your brain will now begin to associate with this intentional practice. Every time you return to this protocol, your brain will reach this state faster and hold it with less effort. You are physically building the neural architecture that makes genuine warmth accessible, not just in this moment, but throughout your entire day. Step 4, breath of completion, 30 seconds. When you feel ready, take one slow, deep breath in through your nose, and on the exhale, let everything release at once. Let your hands fall open. Let your jaw unhinge slightly. Let your shoulders drop 1 full inch lower than they were. Open your eyes slowly. 4 minutes. That is the complete practice, and you have done something no journal entry has ever done for you. You have changed the actual chemistry of your body from the inside out. Overcoming sensory blocks. Now I want to speak directly to the people who will try this tonight or tomorrow morning and feel nothing. No warmth, no tingling, no sensation of any kind. Just a body that feels still and flat and disconnected from the memory they're trying to reach. That is not failure. That is information. If you sit down with genuine intention and your body stays completely quiet, if no sensation arrives, if you feel numb in the places you're reaching for, it means your nervous system is currently running at a very high level of activation. It means your threat detection circuits are so loud right now that the quieter signals of warmth and safety simply cannot compete with the noise. This happens to a significant number of people, particularly people who have been living inside chronic urgency, chronic overextension, or any form of prolonged stress. The sympathetic nervous system has become dominant enough that the parasympathetic voice has grown very faint. Here is what you do before attempting the protocol. 60 seconds, micro movements. Rock your torso gently side to side, just a few inches either way. Let your chin drop toward your chest and slowly roll your head in a small arc from one shoulder to the other. Tap 2 fingers directly on your sternum, the center of your chest, right between your ribs, at a slow, steady rhythm. These movements send direct signals along the vagal pathway that begin shifting the body's state from sympathetic dominance back towards parasympathetic regulation. They work through basic physiology. They do not require belief, effort, or any particular emotional state. After 60 seconds, return to step 1 of the protocol. The sensation will arrive more easily. And when intrusive thoughts show up during the practice, when your mind wanders to tomorrow's meeting, the message you forgot to send, the conversation from yesterday that still sits unresolved, do not fight it. Fighting the thought creates more activation, not less. Simply notice that the mind has moved and redirect your attention to 3 physical anchors that are always available to you. The weight of your body pressing into the surface beneath you, the temperature of the air touching your skin right now, the pressure of your feet making contact with the floor. Weight, temperature, pressure. These 3 sensations need nothing from you emotionally. They are already present, they are always real, and they are your guaranteed route back into the body every single time the mind pulls you out. Integration for long-term resilience. Let me tell you what this practice is actually building under the surface, because the 4 minutes matter, but what accumulates beneath them with every morning you commit to this matters far more. Researchers who study body-based healing and nervous system regulation use a specific term for what develops with consistent somatic practice: somatic intelligence. Somatic intelligence is not a feeling, it's a capacity. It's the deepening fluency you develop with the live, moment-to-moment language of your own nervous system, the ability to read, in real time, the subtle physical signals your body sends before the alarm sounds, before the frustration becomes a reaction.
Before the anxiety becomes a spiral, before the overwhelm collapses into shutdown, most people move through their emotional lives entirely reactively. Something happens externally, and the internal response moves so fast from sensation to behavior that there is no meaningful gap between them. There is no space to choose, just trigger, response, consequence, and then the work of picking up the pieces afterward. Somatic intelligence creates that gap. Not through willpower, not through discipline or positive thinking, through genuine, trained familiarity with the physical language your body speaks, so that you recognize the shift beginning at its very first whisper before it becomes something you cannot manage. Consider what that looks like practically. You are inside a difficult conversation with someone you matter to. You feel the familiar tightening beginning in your chest, the heat rising in your throat. Without somatic intelligence, that cascade moves fast, sensation to reaction before conscious thought can arrive. With somatic intelligence, you catch the sensation the moment it begins. One conscious breath, one moment of locating your feet on the floor and your body in the chair, and you return to regulation, right there, inside the conversation, without excusing yourself, without escalating, without saying the thing you will replay for the next 3 days. That is real transformation. Not a better morning routine, a more regulated, more intentional, more present life. The best time to practice this is in the first quiet minutes of your morning, before your nervous system gets recruited by the day's demands and the dopamine pull of your phone. But you can also use it in the 10 minutes before any high-stakes situation, a difficult conversation, a presentation, a negotiation, a moment where you need your most grounded self present. And here is the 7-day experiment I want you to run. Each morning, before the first notification, before the first word of content, give 4 minutes to this practice. And each evening, ask yourself one simple question. How did my body feel today compared to the days I spent writing lists? Did you carry a quieter steadiness through the afternoon? Did you return to baseline more quickly after something went sideways? Did moments of genuine warmth arrive on their own, uninvited, unprompted, real?
Do not write down your answer. Feel it. Let the body be the evidence. Your nervous system is not your obstacle. It is the most sophisticated, self-regulating intelligence ever built. It has been doing its job, scanning, protecting, bracing with extraordinary precision. It just needs you to give it input it can actually use. Not words on a page, felt experience in living tissue. The gratitude journal was never broken because something was wrong with you. It was limited because it only knew how to speak to one part of you, the part that thinks. But you are not a mind floating in space. You're a body with a mind inside it, a nervous system with a life built around it. And the moment you begin meeting that body where it actually lives, through breath, through sensation, through the physical memory of genuine warmth, everything the journal promised begins to arrive. Not as a mood, as a baseline. Not as a ritual, as a way of moving through the world. That is the life worth building into. That is the growth worth every breath it takes to get there. We take the breath so we can grow the life. If something opened for you today, share and subscribe this with one person in your life who has quietly stopped trusting their own morning practice. They need this more than they know. And if you are ready to go deeper into what your nervous system is capable of, the next video is already waiting for you. I will see you there.